Hello pumpkins! If you're new to my channel, hello and welcome. My name is Caroline Ironwill. I am a certified coach practitioner and professional tarot consultant. If you would like to book a private reading, you can do so at the link below, www.carolineironwill.com. Today we are going to do a reading on Josh Duggar. Now, it is sentencing day. It's about 11 a.m. when I'm recording this. I am very much hoping that I can get this entire video filmed and edited and uploaded and all that before the actual sentencing is announced, so that, you know, hopefully you can have some proof of my accuracy. We will see how it goes. I can't talk about the Josh Duggar case without alluding to the crimes that he has been convicted of. That being said, content warning, I will be discussing SA, CSA, CP, that kind of stuff, and some religious aspects. Every time I do a tarot reading on a Christian, someone tells me that I'm trying to take down a good Christian person, and I am not against Christianity. I am against doing terrible things to children, so that is what we're talking about today. I will also be talking about some statistics about those who do such things to children and how this could relate to Josh. So, let's get started.
I wanna have on that avenue. I wanna have on that avenue. Come on.
The deck I'm using today is the Wild Unknown Tarot by Kim Krans. I will leave a link to that below as well. I'm going to do a 10-card Celtic Cross. Celtic Cross is one of the most common spreads in tarot. The Celtic Cross is a really good all-purpose tarot spread. The incense today smells beautiful, although you can't smell it. This ad is not sponsored, but the incense is from Queen City Conjure, which is an awesome shop run by two awesome individuals. And if you are in need of magical supplies and in the GTA, please do consider. Also, they do ship worldwide if you go to queencityconjure.com. Again, not sponsored. Just supporting awesome people. Okay, so let's look at Josh Duggar and what his time is going to be like in prison. And it's cutting off my head here. There, I changed the angle a little bit. Hopefully you can see my head and the cards. I'm actually looking into options for renting cameras since I only film about once a week now. I love having the big table to be able to spread the cards out. Huh. Now, we all have our own biases here, and if it was up to me, I'd lock him up and throw away the key. But it is not up to me, is it now? It is up to the judge. Okay, so, not sure how much of the cards you can see from that angle, but we have, in the significator position, we have the Nine of Cups. This kind of concerns me here. We also have the Nine of Wands reversed. As the Crossroads card, we have the Nine of Wands reversed. In the Foundation card, we have the Three of Pence reversed. Past, Four of Cups. Present, Three of Wands. Future, the Chariot. How he sees himself, Mother of Swords. How others see him, the Moon reversed. Hopes and fears, we have the Daughter or the Page of Pentacles. Outcome, strength. First thing I do is take an overview of the spread. So we have 2 major arcana, that's about average. We have 2 pence. We have 1 sword, 2 cups, and 2 wands. We have all of the suits represented. And we have 1, 2, 3 reversed. When I see a lot of reversed cards, it tends to mean that things are really chaotic and up in the air. When I see lots of upright cards, things are smooth. So the sentencing is going to go smooth, which means I really have to be fast at uploading this before they announce it. Okay, significator. Josh, this is about getting his wish. And like I said, if it was up to me, I would lock him up and throw away the key. It's not up to me. He's not going to get the 20 years as much as we'd like. Now, we know that he did the terrible things to his sisters. We know that he did download images that are awful of kids. But this isn't a conviction of hands-on crimes. This is a conviction of a computer crime. I am not trying to downplay the severity of this at all. I'm saying this is how the law sees it. I'm not a lawyer. Emily D. Baker on civil law and Nate the lawyer are far better resources to talk about that. Legal Eagle, also love Legal Eagle. But yeah, I don't think that he's going to get the extreme sentence that everyone's wanting him to get. So I'm also looking at the numbers here. So we have a 9, a 9, a 3, a 4, a 3, a 7, an 11, which it depends on the suit that, because I have the strength card here, which in some decks, the strength and justice are reversed. So in some decks, this would be an 8. Daughter of Pence, that doesn't have a number, and we've got the 18, and Mother of Swords doesn't have a number. Okay, so I think we're looking at somewhere in the range of less than 10 years. Now, yeah, we'd like to see him get longer. I think that he's also going to get some time served, so taken off for the time that he's already spent in jail. And I think that he is also going to get out early or be released on some sort of home confinement or some sort of work program after 5 years. So looking at him, getting a longer sentence, but then having it reduced. Yeah, the idea of an actual hands-on predator doing the actual work, getting 5 years, and then someone who is watching images of that getting 20 years probably doesn't make a lot of sense. I do believe that our laws about SA and our laws for CSA should be far stricter and should be punishable more often, but unfortunately that's not the case, and that's what we're looking at here. If he had downloaded a cartoon that didn't feature actual images, it would be the same charge. If he had downloaded hand-drawn pictures of such images, that would be the same crime, because it's downloading these images, whether they're depicting an actual child or a drawn child. It's still downloading CP. So they're going to look at similar cases, and also, even though he admitted to what he did to his sisters, he's never been convicted of that, so he's like technically a first-time offender with no record. So I think that the judge is going to lean on the lenient side. Like I said, I think we're going to look at 8 to 10 years, or 7 to 10 years with time served, and then with admission to some sort of program at the 5-year mark, and around there. All right, yeah, so he wanted 5 years. I don't think it's going to be like 5 years slap on the wrist and then he's out. I think that there's going to be, something happens at the 5-year mark that his conditions are reduced. 9 of Wands. So this is a getting back into the game. He's going to look at this prison sentence as a missions trip, which is going to be so freaking annoying for the other inmates. Like, this is somebody who has done awful stuff to kids and who has downloaded pictures and has lied and has was accused of PAing and essaying Danica Dillon. So this is a bad guy. This is a piece of shit. Can I swear? Yeah, sure, whatever. This is a piece of shit. But he is going to come off all high and mighty to his fellow inmates. 3 of Pence. He's going to get a job in prison doing, I don't know what prison jobs do nowadays, but something prison jobby to earn his keep. He's going to hate it. But he's going to put on this happy face. I mean, of course, like, you're going to hate prison work. That's not anything new, but put on this happy face. And I mean, really, if the Duggars can do anything, it is give the appearance that they're behaving in person. So Josh knows how to look like he's behaving. He knows how to look like the good boy. Which is sad, because that means that if there's any chance of like time off for good behavior, there's going to be a prison ministry program that he's going to be involved in, and that's going to like, God, it's so sick how he's using his religion to prove that he's a good person. There are terrible people in every religion. This is not me dunking on Christians, but yeah, he's going to use his religion in prison to say that he's a changed person. Actually, we'll get to that in a minute. 4 of Cups, past. This is often about fantasy and living in a dream world, so I think that there was a fantasy aspect to his consumption of the material that he downloaded. So he was fantasizing about it before he did it. People have asked, where did Josh learn it? And thinking that because many predators are themselves victims, that somebody must have done it to him. I think it had a lot more to do with him having unfettered access to computers as a young kid and learning how to usurp those programs. I mean, what 13-year-old boy, you put him in front of a keyboard on the internet? Of course he's going to type boobs, right? That's pretty normal, but I think that he just, because he had been denied access to any sort of information about consent, to any sort of information about the human body, he went hog wild and kept upping the game with more and more scandalous stuff and more scandalous stuff, and then we get to where we are now. I am not saying that he did anything to his kids. I am not going to speculate on that, because if he did, that means that they're victims, and I'm not going to out a victim, certainly not in a tarot reading. However, statistically, looking at and consuming CP or images of CSA tends to be a precursor to actions, to like hands-on actions. If there's any sort of homosexual attraction, then it tends to be the boys first. If there's not, then it tends to be the girls first. However, girls and boys are both equally at risk of any predator who's preferring children. So if he didn't do anything, if he wasn't caught, statistically he was likely to offend towards his kids, which is more reason why Anna needs to keep them away. Present, 3 of Wands. His ship has sailed, so one of the reasons why he is not confessing is because he wants to leave the door open for appeal. His MO, whenever he's done something that is wrong, has been to confess, to ask for forgiveness, and to be forgiven, and to not really have consequences. That has been the pattern his whole life, because he's been the golden child. So it's important to understand within fundamentalist Christianity the difference between a crime and a sin. A crime is an offense to society. The laws are made to keep us safe and to respect our rights. And when someone violates those rights, then there is a consequence, and the consequence fits the crime. Within fundamentalist Christianity, we have something called vertical morality, where crime and sin are no different. And what are the wages of sin? The wage of sin is death. So how do you overcome that? You ask for forgiveness. So all sin is considered equal in the eyes of God, because you're offending God. God made a rule and you broke it. And a child rolling their eyes when asked to do a chore is the same in vertical morality as essaying your sister. Stealing a pack of gum from the store is the same morally as stealing a car. So that aspect of vertical morality plays into here, that no sin is too great that can't be forgiven. And that's always been his thing, is to confess, especially to Jim Bob, and then to ask for forgiveness and to be forgiven. He hasn't done that yet because he's waiting for appeal. Because he's never had to face consequences. He doesn't know what consequences feel like. I would love for Anna to sit down with Caleb and have a conversation. I don't think that's going to happen, but I would love for that to happen. I did a reading on Anna a while back. I think that deep down she knows, but she can't admit that she knows. She can't say that she knows, because that would mean being cut off from everything. But I believe that there will come a time when Josh confesses to her and asks for her forgiveness, and she will be obligated to forgive him because God forgave him. This isn't saying that this is how all of Christianity works. I'm saying that this is how vertical morality works, which is a tenet within many of these fundamental religious cults. Chariot, future, after he gets out, who's going to hire him? Jim Bob's going to hire him, and Chariot is representing cars often. So, Chariot, he's going to work in a car lot, which is what he did before. Because, who's going to hire someone who's been convicted of that? Is the car lot going to do well? No, because who's going to buy a car from somebody who does that to kids? But so the only way that he's going to be able to make money is behind the scenes, self-employed, or employed through one of the Duggar's shell corporations. How he sees himself, Mother of Swords. I think this is in relation to Anna, the Mother of Swords. She's had to shut herself off emotionally and become very, very cold. He is trying to shut off his own emotions and become cold to everything that's going on and kind of look on the bright side and be positive and keep sweet, and because anger and guilt and shame are not emotions that he's allowed to have. He is going to be bullied horribly in prison. Think about this. He's the oldest kid in his family. He's been top dog since the day he was born. He was homeschooled, so he never had to put up with kids at school. He's always been the oldest. He's always been the biggest. He's not that big, he's not that old, and he's certainly not that tough. He is fresh meat for the other inmates, and he's going to have a very, very hard time, especially because he sees this as a missions trip, especially because he's going to be pompous, and especially because he is going to see it as religious persecution. They pick on me because I love Jesus. Bullshit. Next card, how others see him. We have the moon reversed. The moon upright is often about mental health stuff. The moon reversed, I see in this being him trying to plead mental health after he confesses of being, I have an addiction, I can't help myself, I'm just a sinner, I am not in control of my actions because I have this mental health illness of P addiction. P addiction is not listed in the DSM. Anything pleasurable can be addictive. Anything. I mean, people can get addicted to shopping. People can get addicted to food. So is it possible to get addicted to pee? Yeah, but it's not near as prevalent as many in the fundamentalist communities would like to believe it is. Hopes and fears, daughter of Pence. This is gross. He sees this as a money-making opportunity. And so there's going to be, even though he's going to confess to Jim Bob and to Anna, he's not going to confess to the public. And he's going to write a book or try to write a book, which is going to be terrible. He's probably going to hire a ghostwriter. Because this is a money-making thing for him. How can I turn this into profit? That's gross. That is so gross. He's also going to learn in prison how to get away with these crimes next time. So I think that he could even be looking at ways to create this material and not get caught in the future. I hate that he's looking at this as ways to make money and going into prison with an entrepreneurial spirit. That's disgusting. Outcome, we have the strength card. So he's going in there and he's going to try to be strong and use the Lord as his strength and put on this happy face when he's a piece of shit and, dying on the inside. he's, as I said before, he's going to be really good at making others think that he's perfect and making others think that he's the good boy and making others think that he's, you know, the dutiful son when he's just as bad, if not worse, than other people in there. And certainly I think that his... Okay, so this is the reading that I got for Josh Duggar and his prison sentence, which will be finalized today. If you disagree with how I've read these cards, let me know how you'd read them. How would you interpret the cards that I dealt today? I shuffle the cards and they tell a story. What story did these cards tell you? I'm interested to know. And let me know what you think of this format of me kind of, you know, kneeling on the ground with the cards and you can see them here. If this works, I will actually try to pull it off for Tarot Tuesday, which is returning next week. If you're new, what's Tarot Tuesday? Tarot Tuesday is every Tuesday at 5 p.m. I've taken a break for a few months. I had some personal issues and I had to reevaluate my role on YouTube, and I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about YouTube, and anyway, yeah, so I do readings that are free for members or by donation for everyone else. So come see me on Tarot Tuesday. It will be starting again June 1st. I will leave a link to that below. I hope that you are having a wonderful day and that you pray with a good fire. Bye, pumpkins.